there are schemes out there and there are scams out there, and there's people
No.
that are doing, these like, that are trying to make that quick buck. And so everyone has their defenses up even more so now than ever.
Yeah.
And the only way around that is through genuine, and I know authentic is a hot word, but it's true. It needs to be like genuine connection with people.
You have to care. You
actually
have to
give a
actually
shit.
care. You have to give a shit.
People give a shit about how much you give a shit.
Yeah. Right. How's it going, everybody? Zander Fryer, CEO and founder of High Impact Coaching here with Alex Starr, who is our senior business specialist here at High Impact Coaching. Alex, how's it going, brother?
It's going fantastic. What's going on, man?
Oh, just hanging out, another day in quarantine, pretending to get some shit done.
Yeah.
Excited to get you on here today. Today with Alex, we're going to be talking about the new. Alex is in charge of all of our marketing and lead generation. So we're going to be talking about the new way to market in 2020, especially with everything going on. Alex has a very unique past, and he's done a lot of amazing shit. So I want to dig into that a little bit. But Alex, before I dig into all the fun stuff, I just want to ask you, what's it like working at High Impact Coaching?
If I could sum it up in a word, maybe energetic, probably.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's probably, how when you start with new jobs, you've been with Cisco and a bunch of other different companies, right?
Yeah.
When you start, and it's almost like sometimes at the beginning of a new relationship too, where they're putting on their best front and then there's always the underbelly, and you usually find out about it a few months into the relationship.
Like 3 to 6 months in. Yeah.
Yeah. Relationships, work, jobs, like they put on that good veneer at the beginning, and then the truth comes out eventually. I've been working here for almost a year, and I'm still waiting for that to happen.
Yeah. I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
That's
so we're the hot new relationship that never turns into the old busted relationship, is what you're saying.
So far, yeah.
Okay.
We're staying strong. Yeah. No therapy needed yet. Yeah.
All right. Good to know. And it's not like we haven't had our fair share of ups and downs and shit going on either.
Yeah.
With everything going on in society.
Exactly, man.
Awesome, man. So Alex, before we dig into, because obviously, over the last couple of months, you've been doing some amazing stuff here at High Impact Coaching. When we're seeing, other companies in decline or even shutting their doors, we're continuing to scale up. So I want to dig into specifically what you're doing with us, and that way everybody out there can learn from it. But before we do that, I'd love to get a little bit of your story of how you got here and working with us, because you've done so many different things. So maybe we could probably even go back to I don't know, take me back and start where you want to start.
I mean, basically, I follow the standard route through high school and college that a lot of people do, right? And you go to school, and then you go get a job, or you go to college, depending on your family circumstance and things like that, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what you think you need to do. And from there, right, when I was done with college is when I realized that I didn't want to just go get a job. I had lived a fairly fortunate life until then. So I decided I was going to do Peace Corps.
Yeah.
Then I realized I didn't want to do 2 years in another country. So I did AmeriCorps to help out domestically. It's like a domestic Peace Corps for a year. That's what set my trajectory on a completely different path. That's what made me meet a ton of people from all these different backgrounds, helping out in a homeless shelter.
Yeah.
Doing all these different things. It's where I discovered
choosing to live a service-oriented life, right from the beginning.
Exactly. It's about having that service first mentality, and putting knowledge ahead of and experiences ahead of just chasing the job or just chasing the money, because that is what we were told to do.
Yeah. Which I think is something that pretty much every coach can connect with.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. A lot of coaches are in this space because they probably don't want to be in a 9-to-5. They know they have something valuable to offer, something to give, but they just find themselves, half a mile down this path going wait, what the,
how the shit did I end up over here?
Exactly. I didn't mean to go down this path. And so now we all have to backtrack and go down that other path that we want to go down.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's what led me to wildland firefighting, once again, service. And
how long were you a firefighter for again?
I did that for 4 seasons total, 1 in Colorado and 3 in Arizona. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then you got into sales and marketing somehow.
And then
Because chopping down trees and preventing forest fires was not adrenaline enough for you.
Yeah, well, you should see the guys that are 40 that were doing it, and they had like broken knees and way too much Copenhagen stuck in their teeth. So
permanent chew,
permanent chew stuck. I'm not kidding you. My Captain Russell had like permanent Copenhagen stuck in between his teeth.
Oh, man.
So yeah, then I moved to Austin and I wanted to get into the startup scene and got into sales, got into marketing, and got into startups. And that's what led me meeting you, right, over sushi with Anthony.
Yeah.
And then eventually getting connected to what you guys are doing and really being drawn to the culmination of all those different things, right? Like, we're here to make money and there's nothing wrong with that, but we're here to provide a service to people and to help people.
Yeah.
And so
I think that's really important for everybody to understand, right? It's like everybody has to make money at some point. Like, you're going to have to make money to do the things that you want to do, and realizing that you can actually make money helping people, right? You can actually make money bringing service to the world rather than just doing something meaningless. And that's kind of what gets everybody into the coaching space to begin with.
Yeah. And it's weird too, because when you look at, even though you could have a lot of debate around like, these giant companies and some of the harm they do to the world. If you look at like Steve Jobs, for instance, like how much he has helped the world, he's a perfect example. Or Bill Gates, right? Like
I think Bill Gates is one of my favorite examples.
Right. Like, he still is helping the world. You see him do TED Talks 3 years ago talking about how we're not prepared for a pandemic. And then here we are in a pandemic. Like, he's always helping the world and society. The dude is worth whatever, $50 billion.
It's super funny because one of the masterminds that I'm a part of, the 100 Million Mastermind Experience, one of the guys in the mastermind, his name's Walter O'Brien. He's the clinically tested smartest man on the face of the earth. 197 IQ. Einstein was like a 162. Right? This guy, like, he hacked NASA when he was 15 years old. And one of the things that he talks about is how, in order to be significant, first you have to be selfish. And he uses Bill Gates as an example. Bill Gates was a selfish prick for 50 years and did nothing but make money. But now he's like, he can cure malaria with like one signature on a check.
Yeah.
Right? He's doing TED Talks talking about exactly what's going on 3 years ago. Right. But he had to be selfish and make money first to actually be significant in the world.
Yeah. And that's a huge mental shift, is when you realize that it's a selfish and an unselfish act to make money. I heard this great metaphor that somebody asked, if you took all of your friends and made everybody rich, is that the type of world you'd want to live in? Like, all the best people and you made them rich.
That is a great question.
And it's like, yeah, I would. And it's like, okay, so there's not a problem with being rich, right? Like, you want good people to be rich.
Yeah.
And instead of like saying all these evil people are rich and they have all the power and influence, it's like, yeah, that's kind of the way it works. So we, the good people, need to get rich and get money so you can influence and change from that perspective.
I love that. So if you're a good person out there, you have a moral responsibility to get out there and make some goddamn money.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. Cool. So that being said, I definitely want to dig into marketing. I want to dig into sales and everything that you've been doing. You've been heading up our lead generation and marketing now. I'd love for you, like, while other companies are declining, we seem to be getting more leads and we seem to be getting higher quality leads than everybody else. Like, what would you say are like maybe the top 2 or 3 reasons that that's happening?
Connection, and connection. Or the top.
Talk to me. What does connection mean to you?
So it means that in this day and age, it's 2020, right? We're in April 2nd, 2020 right now. And everybody is tired of being sold to. Everyone's tired of being swindled. Everyone is just getting very, very, just, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like, overdrawn or just exasperated from being sold to all the time.
I'm just sick of it.
And you know what, too, is the other thing that's contributing to this is that if you go on Instagram and you're seeing ads are being promoted to, you go on Netflix now, you're seeing it before you get on there. Facebook, every single platform that we're on all day, we're being sold to in different ways.
Well, it's interesting. Like, you think of Facebook alone, right? And Facebook alone, 18 months ago, I think 18 to 24 months ago, you would get one ad for every 20 posts.
Right. And they switched it. Yeah.
And over the course of those 18 months, it was 1 out every 20, then it was 1 out every 15, then it was 1 out every
Right.
10, and now it's like 1 out every 6 or something. They're pretty much capped out, right?
Yeah.
They're like, this is it. We show you as many advertisements as we can without you completely quitting Facebook.
Right. Yeah. And exactly. And most of us have a natural and somewhat healthy skepticism
Yeah.
to these types of things, because there are schemes out there and there are scams out there, and there's people
No.
that are doing, these like, that are trying to make that quick buck. And so everyone has their defenses up even more so now than ever.
Yeah.
And the only way around that is through genuine, and I know authentic is a hot word, but it's true. It needs to be like genuine connection with people.
You have to care.
You
You
actually
have to
give a shit.
actually care. You have to
Yes,
give
and
a shit.
people give a shit about how much you give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's huge, because I think you're spot on. Like, it's never been easier. It's never been easier to get into the online world, like into marketing, sales, online business. It's never been easier.
Right.
The barrier to entry is like less than nothing,
Yeah.
right? Like
Like you can
look
make an
back,
Instagram post tomorrow. For
yeah,
free.
exactly. Like you look
Yeah.
back 25 years ago, and you would have had to get a business up and running, you would have had to buy a physical store.
Yeah.
You would have
right.
had to put, like thousands of dollars down a month. You would have to buy inventory. You'd have to do all this stuff. And now literally you tomorrow listening to this, if you don't have a business, you could start a business tomorrow with nothing.
Yeah, you can make an Instagram post right now and say, "Hey, I have a couple products. Who wants to buy them?"
Who wants to buy this? Yeah.
And post on your Instagram for free. Yeah.
And I think because of that, just like you mentioned, because of the barrier to entry, there's more people out there pushing shit that is very low value. So like more than ever, because there's so much out there, we have our skepticism wall is like beyond the roof now.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think there's a couple things going on. Like, one, you do have to, even though I said connection 3 times over, now I'm changing it and I'm adding a couple other things.
I give you permission to change it, Alex.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you. So for instance, the reason why that when I go and I start connecting with people in these different platforms that we're doing, when I'm going and connecting with them, I am coming from a place that I know the value that we bring.
Yeah.
So it's coming from a very honest and pure place. Like, my intentions are clean.
Right.
Because I know what we offer and what we do.
Because you see the back end and everybody
because I
getting
can see the back end. Right, exactly. So if you're a coach doing it and you genuinely have seen the results that you have gotten for, let's say, 5, 10, 15, 20 clients, then when you go and connect with those people, it's going to come from that authentic place, knowing that you can actually help them and then being a human with them.
Yeah.
It's got to be both of those. Because if you're trying to connect, but you don't provide a value, then that's just becoming a friend with somebody. And if you can provide a value, but you're a dick online, or you're coming off as scammy, or you don't want to connect with people,
or you're just automating, right? That's the other thing.
Or you're Everybody just automating.
Automates. People are just lazy, right?
Yeah.
And they just put all the automation out there, and let's see if it just takes care of itself.
Okay, so that's a really good point. Yeah, because when you do these initial messages, a lot of times people will create a script or something, and then they'll outsource it, right? Or they'll just go on and they'll just start mass copy and paste and send it out to everybody.
If you're listening to this right now, have you ever gotten that copy and paste message on Instagram or on Facebook or whatever it is? Like, you know exactly what we're talking about. It's literally just copy and paste messaging and seeing if that actually works.
Yeah, it's kind of like, if you've ever gotten a text, I do this when I text people to come over to my house for a party or something, actually.
Yeah.
And I'll send every single person individual text, and I'll say hey, I want you, I'll send to my buddy Ray, let's say, for instance, and I'll say hey man, I'm really looking forward to having you and Kelly join.
Yeah. It's personal.
Next weekend. I just personalizing a little bit. It takes me another half hour as opposed to saying a massive group text. But this is kind of a weird metaphor I hadn't thought of till now. But I get
pretty damn good metaphor.
I'll get an 80% show rate if I have a party or something at our house, because it's personalized.
Well, I think, to that point, again, we're living in a world where we're so connected, yet we're more disconnected than ever.
Yeah.
Right. We can all connect with everybody, but we're not taking the time to genuinely, to use your word, to genuinely actually establish a relationship with someone.
Right.
Really care, show intention, know them, know what matters to them, and actually consider what's best for them. rather than
Exactly.
just like spamming people.
Exactly. And to harp on that, I think it's not as hard as people think, because that's somewhat abstract right now, right? It's like, just
Yeah.
connect with people, be genuine. But I want to reiterate the fact that it doesn't mean that you have to be best friends with them. It doesn't mean you're sending paragraphs and essays to people.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're sending videos all the time and like, here's a picture of my dog. And
Yeah.
like,
I was going to say like picture of me and Maddie on date night. Like,
yeah, like this is not what we're doing here. Like, this is like, you're not dating these people, you know?
yeah.
What you're doing is very simple things through their messages, through your communication, where you even just mention their dog, or just say, God, that beach looks beautiful. Where's that? You know,
Yeah.
and just connecting with them on, if they mention anything about, we went to lunch, my husband and I just got back from this vacation, I have a dog, you see on their thing they like tennis. You don't even have to like tennis. You can just say, who's your favorite tennis player?
Yeah.
You know, my uncle played tennis. I mean,
It's,
just
but
little things.
again, it comes back to caring. I think it's,
Mhm.
this is so weird, right? Like we're in an age where like the old school marketing and old school sales is dead, right? And it all comes back to just actually caring about someone. I remember we had a client sign up with us a little while ago. I remember I actually, this was like back when I was doing sales calls, and I had a call with her, and she ended up not being able to enroll because she had some health complications come up with like a surgery her dad was getting. Like a bunch of stuff happened, right? And so she wasn't able to work with us. And a month later, I just shot her a text to check and see how her dad was.
Mm.
Because I remember that shit. Like I actually care. This person's not even working with us, but I
Mhm.
remember that shit when I had this conversation with her, and I shot her a message. I was
Mhm.
like, "Hey, just wanted to check in how see how your dad's been going. No, it's been a few weeks. Like, I hope everything's been all right." And she's like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, dad's been doing really well." And then she shot me another text like 2 weeks later. Was like, I need to join. Like, I can't believe you even remembered that my dad was like had to go to the hospital. I was like, "Yeah, of course. Like, I'm not a dick. I care."
Yeah.
Right? But sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, it can be extremely small. And people, like, we all know when someone actually cares or not too.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you know?
What was that?
How do you know? How do you know? Like, what is it that makes sure you know?
Um, the vibes, for lack of a better word.
The woo woo and energetic stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
The
You know what?
universe juice.
The universe juice. Yeah. Yeah. The universe. Yeah. Juiciness that's coming at you. Caring also means saying no.
Yeah. What
And
do you
if
mean
you're
by that?
will-
Expand on that.
yeah, if you're willing to talk to someone and tell them, you know what, like, it's been great talking to you. I honestly, I don't think that it's a good fit for even us to get on the phone, because, you know, you're already way ahead of this, or you seem like you're already crushing it. Like, to be
Yeah.
honest, I don't think you need any help. And I wish you the best. And that's amazing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And
Here's
not,
something else that you can check out. Go.
yeah, yeah. Like, still, if you want to give them the Facebook group or something like that, but like, if you really care, then you're willing to, it's like, it's back to the relationship metaphor, right? Like, if you're not a good fit, then you have to set each other free, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, you know, what's that one movie where it's like love? It's like, if you set it free, it's like a butterfly. And if it's meant to be, it comes back and lands on
It
your
comes
hand.
back. Yeah.
There's like that funny, yeah, I don't know, like Wedding Crashes or something. But
I don't know.
yeah, you have to be willing to say no.
Awesome. What do you, in terms of coaches out there, right? Because obviously, you work a lot of with a lot of our coaches, and you see what they're doing. In terms of coaches, what do you think is the biggest mistake they make when it comes to their marketing?
That's a great question. I think a lot of times, from what I've seen from like the masterminds we've hosted, the live events that we've been doing, um, a lot of times they get in their heads thinking that it has to be absolutely perfect when they're talking to people.
Yeah.
And they think like, hey, I don't know exactly what to say here. Like, they're trying to follow an exact script to it. And it's not like that. Once again, it's a human on the other end of the thing. So they ask a question and you respond, and it doesn't have to be this perfect script every time. Everybody's different. And everyone has different responses, and is just in a different situation. And so I think a lot of times I see them trying to figure out, like, what is that perfect formula that I can use every time, like
Yeah.
trying to automate it,
Yeah.
where I would
And
say
not
it's
realizing
80/20.
it's an art form. Yeah.
It's an art form. Yeah, you can kind of somewhat automate the structure in the same way that you go and cook a recipe and you're
Yeah.
going to follow the recipe, but you add in your own stuff. You cook it here. You're going to put it on your own plate. Like
Yeah.
you're going to serve it different people. So it doesn't have to be like this exact structure every time system.
Yeah. And I think that's important too. Like being that it's, you know, it's a skill set. It's something that you master over time. You're not going to get it perfect to begin with anyways.
Yeah. It's like I mean, how many people do I talk to every week? And I still will sometimes come up against roadblocks or like, oh, man, I don't really know what to say here.
Yeah.
And I've done it thousands of times. And I think a lot of coaches think that they do a few and they should have everything 100% down by now.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an ever evolving process.
Cool. I like that. Couple quick ones for you to close this out. Obviously you've got an awesome podcast and you've been doing a lot of weird shit over the years. What's the weirdest thing you've ever done?
The weirdest thing I've ever done?
Yeah.
The first thing that came to my mind was I was staying at a farm in Costa Rica where I was like volunteering for a month, like helping them out on the farm. And the old grandma on the farm walked down to the chicken coop one day, and I assumed she was going to slaughter the chicken to make food. So I asked her in Spanish if I could help. She said, sure. We walk back up to the place. She hands me a broomstick, and she tells me to put the broomstick over the chicken's head. I thought we were going to cut its head off like normal people I thought did. Instead, I put the broomstick over on its neck. I grab it by its feet, and I yank its entire body out of its head.
Oh my God.
And then I hand it to the old grandma because she wanted it to do what she was going to do with it.
This interview just took a total turn that I was not expecting.
And this is the first thing that came to my mind. You said the weirdest thing.
I'm glad we asked, dude.
So I hand her this headless chicken now that is now, you know, still squawking, like they said, running around with a chicken with its head's cut off. I hand it to her. It slips during that transaction, falls into like some mud beneath us. And now it's like bloody and it's muddy and shooting stuff all over. And the grandma's laughing and everybody was cracking
up. The grandma's cracking up. You're freaking
out. Oh, the grandma was cracking up.
Crying. Like
I was like, oh no. Yeah. But the grandma was loving it. She's like, oh, come here, you know, little. And she.
Oh, mijo, it's okay.
Yeah. And then we ate it that night and it was delicious.
Oh my God.
Sorry, vegans. But yeah, that's the weirdest thing.
Yeah. All right. You won that round. You beat me on that one, man. Awesome. What's the best book that you've read recently and why?
My favorite book?
Recently.
Oh man, probably I just read Never Split the Difference. There's two different ones. Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss is absolutely incredible for any coach out there. It is like one of the most valuable things you could read. Anybody, actually, any business person.
Yeah.
The way you communicate, the way that you negotiate in your life and your relationships and your work. And then I'm also reading Mating in Captivity by Esther Perel, which is all about like relationships and the dynamic between, if anyone here is in a couple, it's been extremely helpful for that.
Amazing. Awesome. Yeah. Last question for you. Who's your favorite team member on HIC?
Oh shit. Probably Cahal.
I really hope he's not watching this.
He's just funny, man. I just like talking shit to him. He's the best one to talk shit to, so I think that's why I like him so much. And he's a great guy too.
Beautiful, brother. Alex, thanks for hopping on. We're gonna do more interviews with you, I think, to just really dig into a lot of the questions that the coaches have around marketing, sales, everything like that. So thanks for hopping on, man. Any last words of wisdom you want to give the coaches out there?
Intimacy over authority all day. Yeah. Just focus on that, come from a good place and connect with people in the right way and keep doing it. You know, don't stop after just a couple.
Beautiful, beautiful, man. If this interview has been helpful for you, go ahead and comment below what's been the most helpful. If you're listening out to this out in podcast land, leave us a review so that we can get Alex back on here and we can do more of these. And if anybody's interested in getting our help to help you scale your coaching business over the next 90 days, go ahead and check out our programs. Go to zanderfryer.com/programs. You can check out our programs so we can help you get your coaching business up and running.
You can also email me directly too, alex@zanderfryer.com, and I can.
There you go. Email Alex directly, alex@zanderfryer.com as well. He's happy to chat. But again, thanks, Alex, and we'll see you on here next time, brother.
For sure, man. Thanks, dude.